Lately I've been trying to find purpose. Half this shit don't even seem worth it. Spend all my time in the clubs. I have a special guest today, one of my favorite people in the whole wide fucking world. Go ahead and
Real?
introduce yourself. I call you Nani, but you know you might be one to be understood as something else in the world. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Y'all can call me Zaddy. I'm fucking with you. My name is Nayanda. But Nani, you can call me Nani for cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
life? How's life out on the West Coast?
Yo, in California specifically, because I'm from the West Coast, but in California specifically, it's nice out here. I like it. It's not affordable and it's not reasonable at all, but like there's a lot of opportunities out here. So as long as you like are focused, you're gonna be broke. I'm not trying to put that on nobody. You might be broke, but if you can get your opportunities together, this is a great place to live, and it's sunny all the time, except for when it's like in a torrential downpour. I warned you I was gonna be, if I didn't smoke my joint before this, I was gonna be talking a lot. But that's probably a good thing. It's a podcast.
The podcast, you're supposed to
It's a
talk.
podcast. I'm supposed to
Right.
talk. Yeah.
So Nani is one of my, I call him my spiritual warriors, a member of my tribe, somebody who I lean on when I need some guidance and things like that, because she's good at what she does. So, a little bit about your spiritual background. How did you get started with that?
I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. In fact, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, up until I was 24, actually. And a lot of things had started happening in my life to where sorry, I got distracted. A lot of things started happening in my life where I was beginning to kind of question whether believe it or not, I wasn't questioning if I aligned with that faith anymore because it was all that I knew. But
Mhm.
I was beginning to question more so like the purpose of life because I was at a really, really low and depressed state when I was a witness. And it was kind of like a conditioned depression, if I'm being honest. But it was, like I said, it wasn't something that you really looked at it that way because it was part of the theology, right? So it's like for example, it's like you're supposed to pay attention to the bad things that are happening in the world because that's how you know. Because it's a doomsday religion. So that's how you know that like the end is coming and we're gonna be saved if you stay with us. And it was very, very culty. And I was at a point where it wasn't, although I was very heavily involved because I've just always been a very religious, spiritual person. So I was very heavily involved, and I was kind of under the premise that like, because we always said it was the greatest life ever, that if I, had dedicated all my time and effort, and there was other childhood trauma. I was looking for a community. It's a long story, but, I found my community with them, and I was under the guise that, if I were to dedicate as much time and energy as possible to this organization, that I would be able to find whatever happiness or stability that I had always been searching for. And ultimately, what ended up happening was that what ended up happening was that I was struggling and I kept struggling. And then what used to kind of give me a sense of direction was now kind of throwing me for a loop. So ultimately what ended up happening was, because you're not really allowed to question the religion, I never really questioned the faith, but I began to, anyway, I began to question whether, this was not the right path for me, whether I should take a break. And I had tried to break free a couple of times, if I'm being honest. It keeps saying the device storage is low, and I don't know why it's saying that. But okay, anyways. Um, but yeah, so ultimately what ended up happening was that, can you see me still?
Yeah.
Okay. It keeps popping up like every time. And I'm like, I don't know what it's talking about. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
You're all
But
good.
yeah. So, my long story short, because I'm making it longer than I thought, my uncle ended up passing away. And I had a dream of him. And I didn't believe in an afterlife because that wasn't part of our theology.
Hmm.
So when my uncle died, it was the first time I had somebody like really close to me pass away, and it was very sudden. So I was really grappling with the loss of him because according to the theology, because he had been raised around the religion but never took to the religion, it was up in the air as to whether when our resurrection day had come, because that was part of our beliefs, was that when people died, they would come back physically, if I would see him again. And I was already depressed because I was in an abusive relationship. So that kind of took it even worse. I had always felt, though, it was really weird because I always felt like when I was home alone, I was never alone, which that makes sense now. But, so eventually I ended up leaving the religion, but it was not a fun departure. It was very much kind of like I was trying really hard to stay in, and no matter how hard I tried to stay in, it was like just shit would happen, like a rumor would start, or this would go down, and that would go down, and it came to a point where like I began to just want to hide and not be seen by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And what ended up happening eventually was like that got so bad. It got hostile. I'm not going to lie to you. It got really hostile. And then I just stopped showing up. And then at that point, it was kind of like okay, well, I'm going to die anyway, so fuck it, right? So I was like, I'm going to start my life all over again. Went to college. I turned atheist. Dike, atheist, supposedly. Although that never sat right with me. And then it was around 2020, because I left in 2018. So it was around 2020 that I, had a spirit, and that was the first time that it ever happened. A spirit was sitting on my couch. This is in like when I was awake, and it was a man. He was dressed in like West African garb, and I was actually dancing at night because I'm a night owl. So it was like 2 a.m, and I'm like getting it to some shit, and then like I turn around, and that was the first time I'd ever seen an apparition. So I turn around and I see the African guy, and I was like, woo! Fuck that. I turn back around, I keep dancing. I'm like, I don't know what that was supposed to be, but. And then from there, believe it or not, it was a barrage of experiences that it wasn't really anything I tapped into. It kind of tapped into me. So it was kind of like all of the things that I was able to do, which I had predictive dreams before, but while I was a witness, all I was having were like the same dreams over and over again. Typically, like my life was out of control. So after I wasn't a witness anymore, that was when the predictive dream started coming back. And then I guess, I mean, I could go deeper into it, but ultimately what ended up happening was that was when I found that I was a medium.
Right.
And my life has never been the same since. It has never been the same since. So yeah, and I've just been on this journey of philosophy and studying a bunch of different theories and a bunch of different faith paths. I've read not all of the holy books, because I think that there are countless holy books, but hold on, I'm gonna turn this heater off.
You're good.
But yeah, so that's where I am now, and yeah, it's pretty dope.
I mean, I've been a part of the journey with you for about the last year. I would say I've been observing the journey, and it's beautiful to see like the transformation in you. It's just you know that I'm not crazy for one,
Yeah.
because marker for whatever reason I finally labeled it as just a shaman,
Mm-hmm.
because I drink everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently had somebody ask me, they was like, do you tend to like ask people about things after you dream about it? I was like, yeah. They was like, but you realize they won't understand because it hasn't happened yet, right?
Yeah, I've learned very, very recently that like a lot of my dreams are probably meant to stay there. Especially with the
Yeah,
dreams
it's
that I have, I'm like, okay, you need to shut the hell up.
like a warning system. Like it works in a way where it's just for you. It's not for you to. I had to learn like you're not supposed to really press people. It's just kind of like a roadmap.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sucks because like you get a fucking dream and then just be like, why the fuck would that happen? And then when it happens, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. For me, very specifically, there's lots of information that I'm kind of being given through my dreams about like people around me. And
Right.
very recently, I kind of caught on because I'm a little slow sometimes. Like, I'm very smart, but somehow I'm very slow at the same time. I'm like, what? It's like you put a smart brain in a very ditzy girl. Uh, but like recently, I'm like, you know what? I should probably shut the fuck up. Although dreams have told me to shut the fuck up, but like, I'm like, you're not gonna tell me what to do.
Yeah, I mean, with spirituality, sometimes they forget that the spirit world actually rules the physical world.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of people in this life, like they really think it's the opposite. Like, oh, I can control this. I can control it. No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't. And the more you try and control it, the worse things get. And that's what I'm learning. Like, you just gotta kind of let shit flow, and when doors open, walk through them or you don't.
Yeah,
But don't be
exactly.
mad. That's all you
Exactly.
can do. How'd you get into like the tarot?
It
What
was
made you pick up
it
tarot?
was gifted to me, believe it or not. It was everything that has happened, like I said, it was kind of thrown upon me. Because I was scared of all that shit. So it was like I was a massage therapist that I went to. She was into now, mind you, she is I think she's like Wiccan or something. That's totally different. That's a religion of its own. But I was telling her some stuff. She was like, I feel like you should take my tarot deck. She's like, I'm feeling like I should give you my tarot deck. And I was like, what's a tarot deck? And then she was like, oh, it's da 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 da. And then she gave me one. And I was like, what is this? And I'm not going to lie to you, like, it took me a few days to touch it. I was just kind of like, why is everything that I was told not to touch and get into being put in front of me right now? And it was like, I had already kind of detached myself from witness theology, but there's still deep programming that it interferes with a lot of shit. So
Yeah,
she gave me the deck and I was just staring at the shit and I was scared of it at first. I was just like, but I'm like, I'm already seeing ghosts and I've seen more than just ghosts, but I was like, and then I'm like, well, what do I
absolutely.
do with it? And before I was just curious and I didn't know what they meant. I learned what the cards meant in like a month, but it wasn't from studying them. It was very much, a lot of the stuff that I can do. It seems to be stemming from past incarnations. So it was kind of like tapping back into something I was familiar with already. But like, I was like, okay, well, I'm
Yeah,
just going to try this real quick and we're going to see what happens. I fuck around, pull some cards, pull 3 cards, and I had to look up what they meant at that point, right? And I was like, why am I getting red to fill? I'm like, yo, what are these things? And then my friends are like, I'm like, yo, can I use this on you real quick and let me know if this works? And before it was just like, okay, trying to remember what the cards meant, but it was like as I used the cards, it was crazy. Because it was like I would start getting information that the cards had nothing to do with. And then
mhm,
I would have like spirits coming through and I would start having details about people that they never told me. And they'd always made it sound like psychics were like, oh, they only go off of information you give them. But then I had gone to see some psychics myself, and that was not the case. That was, in fact, real psychics will most likely ask you not to say much. Like, give me your name. What's the question? And I'm like that. I'm a blind reader. So I'm like, okay, I don't want any information any more than the question you just asked me. Just keep it quiet. Um, and after I had done my cards and stuff like that, I went to who eventually became one of my teachers, and he gave me a reading. That shit scared the hell out of me in the best way. I love being scared though. But yeah, that's essentially how I was gifted a tarot deck, and then a lot of the other stuff that I was gifted, it was just given to me. They were just like, "You should do this," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go with it."
I mean, for me, like, I first started my spiritual journey, I want to say it kicked up in 2015.
Yeah,
I still say I got incarcerated because I ran from it,
you think
because it
so?
was kind of like I legit ran from it.
Oh
Like,
shit.
legit, like, the people I was around, they were very spiritual. I had just got back in contact with a bunch of my old friends, and they had all just went through their little spiritual awakening. So we were all talking spirituality, and
Mm,
I realized how much responsibility came with it. I was like, nah, I don't want no parts of this shit. Like, I'd rather just go back to my bullshit. And when I went back to my bullshit, that's when I got locked up. So
yeah.
during my incarceration, I just kept meeting more and more spiritual people from different backgrounds. And so I was just like, I got time. Why not just sit here and talk to random people?
Right.
And eventually I started to dream more. One dream I'll never forget was I was in a single file line, and there was like this, I don't even know what to call it, like a Native American warrior,
Mm-hmm.
like guiding people through a door.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I peeked around the corner to see what the fuck was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were down these stairs to this dark door. But when it came to me, he was like, no, keep moving.
Right.
And like I woke the fuck up, was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, and since then, like I kind of just started thinking for myself. I would say it
Right.
started there. Reading more books on, like you said, philosophy, psychology, and really getting to know myself better. And once I started dreaming about like my grandmothers, my uncles, like close friends, I started to realize like I have an entirely different life when I fall asleep. And now I just pay attention to both sides and see how they kind of correlate.
Yeah. Yeah.
weird. If you don't know, you don't know, and it's confusing as fuck. But once you understand it, it's more so like I said, it's like a roadmap.
You can't, and you have the 12. You have 12th house placements too, right? Your sun's in your here's your Cancer, right? But Leo rising. Yeah,
Yeah,
people that have 12th house placements, specifically, especially if you're like if you were, because you're a Leo rising, if you were like a Cancer moon, then essentially like your dreams would be like a key to your subconscious. Like you would kind of like be a dream psychic. I think because I'm a Pisces moon, that's another reason why I have a lot of dreams that come through like that. But I think your sun is in the 12th house, so I think that your entire embodiment is just kind of being in that subconscious energy too. I don't have any placements in the 12th house, though. That was why it was so weird. But a Pisces moon technically is, because the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So it's like technically
yeah.
my moon is kind of in the 12th house. And I think that anybody that has strong 12th house placements um, are always kind of in between realms a little bit. And I think that once you do kind of gain that knowledge of like, okay, my dreams are they are both connected between both. Like, because I think like, the world really wants you to focus mainly on the physical. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of people should just focus on the physical. A lot of y'all can't multitask anyway.
Bad goals, and it's like you got to be a strong individual to balance between the two, and it'll definitely show. Like I look at a lot of people, they just look tired majority of the time, and it's like I know what they're going through.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. So it's also like, oh,
but
sorry.
I tell everybody one thing I've learned through my studies is it plays a lot to do with your ancestors, your DNA, where your roots actually established from, and what the practices are. So it's very important to know who you are and what your DNA consists of.
Right. Yeah. And I also say too, I've noticed that, at least from my experience, and I guess it's also part of my in Vedic astrology it's called a nakshatra, but essentially like not everybody is equipped to handle boundless information. And that was
Yeah,
another big lesson for me, was that and it was also really healing as well, because it was like beginning to realize that like everybody really does have their own designated like journey. And it's like the people that are super churchy, they're supposed to be super churchy. That's probably where they're safest at. Because once you open
yeah,
the Pandora's box of and they don't really know that though. It's like the collective subconscious. It's not just like, oh, this is love and light. It's like, no, you're going to be confronted by everything that's on that other side. And the fucked up part is a lot of it is an illusion, but
yeah,
a lot of it is an illusion. And a lot of it is real, and you have to be able to use your discernment, and it's kind of an exercise. But a lot of people, once they open that Pandora's box, and typically the people that do it without a hunger for knowledge, a lot of people do it for greedy purposes or like vindictive purposes or whatever, not realizing once you open that box, you're essentially opening up a lock to an area of yourself that you probably were already fucking with. But now you're fucking with like, you're kind of amplifying whatever your predominant energy is. So it's like if you are a jealous person and you start tapping into spiritual practices, and you're probably going to end up confronting a lot of situations that are going to make you really fucking jealous. But you're also going to probably
yeah,
have good situations as well. But whatever you're tuned to, it's like a compass. Whatever you're more attuned to is what you're going to respond to. And
mhm,
although I do feel like there are people that can make it out of that, a lot of people that are not very self-aware or have no intent to be self-aware really get themselves in a lot of trouble with that. And then that's when I see people like they'll tap into the left-hand path, and it'll be like really brief, and and they won't tell you this though, they'll fuck with some dark shit. They'll fuck, can I
that's
curse on here? Okay.
that's the part that
But they'll fuck with some dark shit. They'll get their ass handed to them. And then they'll go back super churchy now. Like, oh no, I just, and it was evil and blah, 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 blah. But they're not telling you that, oh, it was my ex-boyfriend. I was trying to bind him to me, and then I got my ass beaten. I lost my job. I lost my money. I lost everything. And now I'm back here because I want to redeem myself. Like, they're not going to say all of that. And whether they even acknowledge it as such is a different story, but that's not my business, honey. I don't do shit like that. So
yeah, it's one of those things like, and you can kind of tell when you become more in tune with spirit. Like me, I can always tell when somebody has something on them. They
yeah.
they look a lot rougher. They're tired all the time, and I'm just like, you need to be alone right now.
Yeah.
that you brought to yourself, you got to confront that.
Yeah, it was fucked. Well, that's the thing is like if you're not somebody that focuses on yourself, a lot of them, and that's especially recently, I've been noticing a lot of them will run themselves in the fucking dirt. Like, and it's, I mean, honestly, I don't really care. We're all here to learn lessons. Listen, I don't, because people I'm talking about fuck with me, so I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I hope you learn.
I live a life according to a law of individuality. Like whoever you are, I respect you for whatever you are, and I pick and choose how I deal with you.
Exactly.
I don't have a big thing with like, oh, I like these type of people. I don't like type of people. I just like people.
Yeah.
I like my people.
Yeah.
I had like it's literally a phase of learning how to ungroup humanity and kind of just respect whatever people have going on, understanding we all have a direct connection to spirit, but some people just aren't tuned into it, so they're not going to think like you. They're not going to understand how you speak. And even the people that try to walk this life, you have to be observant of what their life really consists of. Like if people start losing everything, get the fuck away from
them. Yeah, I always say that, like, especially for me. And once again, this is another red flag for me. This is going to sound really fucked up. But I'm just going to say, I'm going to call a spade a spade. If somebody feels the need to be overwhelmingly positive, and what I mean by that is I don't mean like optimistic. I mean, it's all love and light and twinkles and stars and da-da-da-da-da and and it's like they're overwhelmingly trying to fabricate some sort of positive image. I promise you they're fighting some hard demons. Whether it's literal ones or not, they're fighting some hard demons. And especially in the spiritual path, those are the people that I'm wary of. I've never found one person that has been, and it's because I'm so sensitive to things. So it's like you can never, what you say and what you portray, your mask, what you're presenting to the world, a lot of people
nothing.
A lot of people might not pick up on it, but I could pick up when you're like, you got something wrong with you. And I've yet to come across a love and light person that wasn't evil. And I hate to say that, but I'm so serious. Like I've never met one.
Behind closed doors, what they do is, I always call them the key vampires.
Yes.
Because they lure people in with this big, nice, I'm such a happy person, and people want to be around them, but then they feed on the people around them in order to maintain that. But then when they're by themselves, they're a fucking wreck.
They're a wreck. They're a monster. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Did you see what I posted on my story?
I haven't.
It was
I've been literally.
Oh my bad. It was it said metalheads are nice people cosplaying as mean people, and it said hippies are mean people cosplaying as nice people, and I was like, yes.
It's pretty much the same. Like the way I feel about, I've never met a truly mean gothic person
ever.
Like they pretty much just stick to themselves, and like as long as you're not doing some OD shit, like they pretty chill.
Yeah, for the most part. But yeah.
World.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said about people's appearances and the reality, and I think that a lot of people and I don't think that I'm an exclusion of this, but I think I'm on the opposite end where it's like I think I try to present a lot tougher than, I'm not saying I'm not tough, but I present a lot rougher than I actually am because I actually am a softie. So it's like I present the tough exterior because I know that once you kind of get, I mean, you didn't really get that because you were close to my cousins, but so I'm like, I think you already got the okay, but it was definitely like I at least very recently I presented a lot tougher of an exterior, and the reason for that is because I've noticed that a lot of people take my kindness as weakness. But I'm never going to stop being kind. That's my big thing. It's just like, I'd rather just kind of present myself with a certain level of grit. So it's just kind of like, but it's never mean. It's never mean. It's just very direct.
And that's like business. When I go out to like shows and meet other artists and things like that, like they automatically assume like I'm not talk to them. I'm like, no, I'm cool. It's just I'm not for the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about small talk. I'm here at a networking event. Tell me what you do. I'll figure out if I want to work with you, and we go from there.
I'm not even down for the friendship shit like that. Unless, I mean, I'm not saying that's not 100% true, but it's just kind of like when it comes to me and my business, I'm very much business is business. And I also don't like letting people get too close to me, just because once you let people get too close, a lot of people be getting close on purpose to get shit on you. And
a lot of go.
Huh?
A lot of people don't know how to let go.
Yeah, I get a lot of really clingy, needy. I want your attention
Yeah.
all the time, and I'm like, okay, I can't. I'm not gonna be here all the time. I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna be available all the time. I'm gonna let you know right now.
I got my own shit to do, so occasionally I'm gonna need you to find your own shit to do. Either that or you're just gonna have to be upset because I've got shit to do.
Yeah, and sometimes that shit ain't even shit to do. I just don't feel like bothering with nobody right now. Like I need, and people that are psychic
So
need time to themselves. Like, yeah,
of the time we need to ourselves, like we need a reset every single day, just about, especially when you're going out and about.
yeah,
I overwhelming to me now because like I can see through so much shit.
yeah,
It's disgusting. It's
yeah.
disgusting.
It's definitely like, and especially for like me, and I will say like as a Pisces moon, it's I don't know who I'm feeling sometimes. I don't know whose feeling it is. Is it me? Is it you? Is it your baby mama? Is it this? Is it that? I don't know. So I have to isolate real quick because I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure out what I'm picking up on. Because sometimes I'll pick up on shit and I predict death a lot too. So like I was hearing the word cancer and I was like, who has cancer? Cancer what? Is like a cancer like astrological cancer? What's the cancer? What's this? And then my friend's uncle died from cancer and I was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
And it's a lot. And then of course, you know, being a medium, you have actual like dead spirits and even like entities like gods and goddesses and energies and whatever the case might be that come through too. And they come through on their own time. So it's like you could be out, I'll be out on set like for a TV show, and then suddenly I'll be like, ding! And I'm like, okay, I can't do that right this second. Then like a hawk flies by, I'm like, shit, okay, is this like super important like right now, right now? Because there's so much going on, I can't do this. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Don't get me started on people trying to like throw magic at you. That shit's crazy.
Don't
That shit's
ah.
crazy. It's almost another part of it too. It's like if you're gonna be a part of this, just understand niggas are gonna throw black magic at you like something serious.
And, and what it can be any form, whether it's even a thought that somebody has towards negativity towards you.
Yeah,
People literally look at you like, I don't like that person. And if they're connected, they may be completely ignorant to their connection to spirit world, but they could literally be, I don't like that person. Like the spirit world will hear it and be like, oh, let's go see why they don't like this person. Let's go fuck with this
yeah,
person. And then like people will start getting greedy with it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with this person as much as I can. If I know now, every time I think about this person and I don't like them, that something's gonna happen, even if it's a fucking their leg is itching. I just want to irritate them, and it's like you got little petty spirits that'll do shit like that,
yeah,
and it fucking it's disgusting. Like people should mind their own fucking business, learn their fucking spirits, get to know who the fuck they are, and live their fucking life.
yeah. I will definitely say too. Alternatively to that, or conversely, if somebody is doing something to you, whether it's like intentionally like doing a ritual or just talking a lot of shit, and they happen to know that you're like a psychic, there's also the other hand where it's like, this girl put a hex on me. I'm like, you should have just shut the fuck up. Is what you should have done. I didn't do anything to you. I've never done anything to
Because
you.
it will circle every time. Like, oh, such and such was talking about you. Then a week later, oh, you know, such and such lost their job, right? Like, damn, huh?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, but then they're never going to see it like that. It's going to be me. She hexed me, and I'm like, honey bun. If I hexed you, it would be a lot worse things going on. But I don't actually know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. You know, I actually can't exactly say that. But the biggest thing is
Oh,
a lot of people are very much in other people's business. That's a thing I've noticed. And it's like, I don't really care. I don't really care to be in anybody's business. I don't really care what you got going on unless I care about you specifically. I don't give a fuck about what you got going on. I don't care to talk about people. So why would I hex you?
absolutely.
Like,
And when you know that there's good that comes from that.
I mean, it depends. If it's
Yeah,
justified, it depends. But
if it's just that's there,
that's
then
different.
comes counsel.
Yeah, that's
That comes
different.
with counsel.
Yeah.
Gotta days with counsel before you actually dive into something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so it's a fun experience now. It's also a lot of weird serendipitous events that will happen also where you're just trying to kind of try to figure out what I guess part of my path is like just having faith that like everything's gonna work out. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay.
And you just gotta wake up every day and try something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. For sure. Oh, if y'all want to check out my tarot channel, listen, it's called The Syrian Siren on YouTube. I'm gonna have him write that somewhere too. And I got a Patreon.
Oh, you got a Patreon.
Yeah, I got a
Congrats
Patreon.
on
I
that.
know. I got one member, but I'm gonna shut the hell up about that. But I got one member on it, and I'm super excited.
How you feel about this eclipse?
Huh?
How you feel about this eclipse?
Oh, everything feels chaotic and hectic right now. I'm just floating, and I'm menstruating.
That's all.
TMI. So
That's all you can do is like. I feel everybody's so focused on the physical aspect. Oh, the sun's gonna be blocked out. Nobody's actually spending time by themselves to actually get in tune with what they need to get in tune with before it happens.
well, that's because nobody thinks like that. Very few people think like that. You know, for me, I'm hormonal while it's happening too. So it's like, and happening in my 6th house of like health and like, como fue? Health and like not partnership, but like service and coworkers and stuff like that. It's like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The eclipse isn't necessarily bothering me. It's just I can feel this sense of chaos. Like chaos is happening, but none of it is happening to me. I can just feel it happening. And because I can feel it happening.
Then we got retrograde right along with it. So that's kind of just
Yeah.
down right now. So you just kind of just got to sit still, buckle up, and play it safe right now.
The biggest thing is not reacting, I've noticed with me. It's like, don't react, especially with the retrograde, don't react, don't overthink, don't dig too deep. Everything is very convoluted right now. So it's just kind of like, if you and such aren't seeing eye to eye, I would probably just like not start an issue with you and such. It's not the right time right now. It's just like
I said, just play it safe. See how long it lasts.
Yeah.
If it lasts after it was real.
Or if
it don't last great, it was just some bullshit and it was a distraction.
No, for sure. So it's just like, for me, it's like, because there's like this tension in the air and I'm like, I don't know what, you can cut it with a knife, but like my life is fine. So it's just kind of like, fine-ish. You know, everything is fine. Everything's always fine. But it's like, okay.
Everything worked out.
I'm going to choose not to get angry. I'm going to choose not to get upset. I'm going to choose not to be reactive. I'm going to choose this, and that. And then once this is all said and done, especially because I'm hormonal too, I'm just kind of like, I'm going to revisit a lot of this stuff and be like, okay, so what's going on? What are we going to do? What are we doing? Like, because once again, there's a lot, especially with the North Node, and it's like, there's so much astrologically happening that it's just not a good time to be reactive right now. It's just like, yeah.
I'm with everything going on, I told myself starting April, I was going to just read a great book that would help. So right now I'm reading The Way of the Superior Man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I have a book.
And that's helping me a lot because I've become more aware of the energies that pull on me, the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah.
If I'm dominantly masculine, my emotions are definitely based in my feminine energy. So I'm a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
But now it's just about learning the balance of it. I've been doing a lot better.
That's good.
Compared to last year when I had no idea, everything was a panic last year. Like, what the fuck do I do now?
I remember
that.
But
now it's just, it was a panic. What the fuck should I be doing? Like, now it's just like, do what I can for myself, and then just whatever energy's left over, share it with whoever the fuck I want to. Or if I don't want to share with anybody, don't.
Yeah, my lesson has definitely been like, I have a lot of love for a lot of people, and because the people that I have love for, I get very like protective over, but because I was grown up, I kind of grew up really fast, so I was used to kind of taking over with people because of just not having a foundation myself. So it's like, I see a problem, I'm going to go in hands on, I'm going to help you fix that problem. But now it's like, I'm beginning to realize that like, that's not actually helpful to people. And a lot of times people have to go through certain things to be able to come to a certain conclusion. And
Oh,
and you just got to let it unfold. But it also pertains to me too, because why am I exerting so much of my time and energy into other people's lives when I have a life that I have to build of my own? But it's hard because it's like you see people that you really care about like going through it, and like because you're intuitively guided. Sometimes I can see stuff like I can see a crossroad, and I'm like, if you do this, this is going to happen. But if you do that, that's going to happen. And I really don't want you to have this happen. I want you to have that happen, but I'm forced to just kind of be like,
because ultimately they have to make the decision.
yeah. And then it's just like, you just you say hella prayers for people, and you're just like, all right, well, we're just gonna, I'm sending lots
I
of
got knocked
love. Huh?
got knocked in my head a lot last year for helping people through their karma that they deserved.
That's a Leo rising
And
theme right now.
I just people be like, oh, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with this. Like, okay, well, what are you gonna do about it?
That's been my question a lot lately with people like, okay.
What are you about it? Because I can only do so much, but I need to see what you're gonna do first.
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna like interact with me. Cause it's like for me, I'm like, I'm somebody that genuinely has nothing but good intentions for people. So it's just kind of like I have helped people that did not have good intentions for me before, or I've helped
Mm-hmm.
people who weren't necessarily in the position at that point in time to really view my presence in their life as like help. And it could be because of my delivery. I can be kind of rough. I already know that. And it comes from a loving place. On a Capricorn. It comes from a loving place though, but I can be a little bit rough. But it's more so because I get really passionate when I care about people. So it's just kind of like having to withhold from that recently and kind of just let stuff play out. Because even if I were to tell you like, oh, you should do this, like, are you going to do it?
You got to think, Cancer. I completely understand everything you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. It's like it's definitely like, but I'm not always right either, and that is fair because there's more than one way to skin a cat. So it's just kind of like, oh man, it just, especially because I want certain things too. So it's just
Yeah.
like, man,
What what I say when I what the fuck? And you just gotta withdraw. Withdrawing is important for spiritual people. I'm
you
learning
have
that.
to, you have
You
to.
have to pull those every now and again. And follow those sporadic thoughts as long as they're safe.
Yeah, especially when you're just kind of tapping in or waking up to stuff. Because I know when I first, like, if you use the word awakened or woke up to shit, when I tell you everybody turned. Like, I don't know what it was or if there was some sort of shift in the subconscious, but it's like once I kind of gained insight and I'm starting to realize, like, whoa, I thought we were cool. I don't think that this is as good as I thought it was. It would happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. There was a point at the beginning of all this where it was like I was in screaming matches with people. Like it was just like, and the worst part was I could see what their true intention was, which I couldn't see that before. Before it was just you're just interacting and reacting. Now I can see that it's coming from a bitter place, or I can see that it's coming from competitiveness or jealousy or whatever like that. And then now because I'm somebody that doesn't sugarcoat, now I'm irritated because I can tell you're bullshitting over something stupid and you don't even want to say, you can't even admit that you're jealous of something. So now I'm irritated because I'm trying to lead you to say like, no, you just mad because you don't got A, B, C. But you probably can't even see that yourself. And it's like at the beginning of it all, it really is like a knockdown drag out because it's like, it's also you grappling with yourself, the worst of yourself and other people. So it's like,
Absolutely.
you don't realize that though until you realize it. And then now it's like after what, it's been 4 years now, shit, like 4 years now. I can see now. And it's like now when people are acting crazy around me, although I would really, really, really like to strangle some people, and I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like I've not considered it a bunch of times. Because people are crazy. It's like I really get the worst of people. I get the worst, and it'd be so unprovoked. It'd be
You're a healing spirit, and I've realized two things with my energy. Like I either get the people that need help the most, and it's like they have no type of foundation where they even spiritually can begin to build. Like you have to piece together this foundation first and then show them how to be themselves. But I either get those spirits or I get the energy of competitiveness. Like people automatically look at like, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you know that? I'm gonna try what you do. I'm gonna try. Don't try what I do.
yeah,
Like I tell everybody, I don't. I literally just exist. and I don't question the things that come to me. Like, I've understood now when I go to sleep, I have no control over what I see. It's just for me to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And while I just have no bad intentions. Like, I do what I can to help people, but I always put myself first.
Yeah. I've noticed with me, I think the competitiveness is a big thing, especially when it comes to other people that are spiritually inclined. That was a big thing I dealt with at the beginning of it too, because a big part of it was that same thing. Like, how do you just know that then? Or how do you just do that then? Or a lot of people was like, I didn't think that was real. And now I see it's real, but
Yeah.
why can you do it and I can't do it? But, what I will gladly say is I have seen people shift for the better. I really have. Um, and those kind of moments, although I haven't had a lot of them, like the few times that I have seen people like shift for the better or whatever, it was typically, I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was always at my expense though. Like, I've always kind of get people that like, you always have to attack me first. I don't know why, but it's like, I'm the martyr. Like, you have to attack me first.
It's
You have to attack me first. And then,
take it.
once you realize I wasn't ill intended, then it was like, oh shit. No, and I'm like, no, because I think a lot of people don't want to believe that I'm really as like nice or like well intending, and that's fair because you want to protect yourself. And I mean, who am I to tell you? You know what I'm saying? It's like probably a lot of people that were nice to you at first you couldn't trust, but I'm dead ass. Like, I really do fuck. Like, I'm not doing
I
that.
tell everybody, life now, I tell everybody, bro, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. And if you question that, then that's on
No,
you.
for real. Yeah.
The more you question, the more I'm going to show you how much I don't have to fuck with you.
Yeah. Well, for me too,
Like,
it's like people will jump to I don't know what conclusions they jump to. Sorry to interrupt you. That was rude.
yo, you good. You good.
But it's like, I think it's like they'll try to, it's almost kind of like a too good to be true kind of a thing where it's like, it's almost like you're waiting for me to slip up to be like, okay, so no, you're not that perfect. I'm like, I'm not perfect, first of all. Never said I was perfect. I said I was human. But that doesn't make me a bad person. We all have our good sides and our bad sides. We all have our good days and our bad days. I'm not somebody that floats through this world and never gets upset or never gets confused or I never miscommunicate or misunderstand. Like, but the biggest thing is, I feel like a lot of people, I don't know how they perceive me, but it always feels like they perceive me as like being perfect. And then whenever I do like have an off day or I make a mistake, it's like, ha, see? And I'm like, see what? You think I don't,
It's like, I'm not trying to be perfect every day.
you think
Like,
I'm gonna get hormonal? You think I'm gonna get irritated? And especially because like, I had a bad day. Like, yeah, I'm irritated today. And it's like, see, I knew you were a bitch. I'm like, I mean, go off, but like,
it's like, it's the same with me. Like, people can't wait. Like, I've got people around me. They're like, "Oh, you still smoke weed? You still smoke?" I'm gonna continue to smoke weed, but that has nothing to do with my transformation.
I don't
Like,
even know what that
if that's
means.
if that's what you're looking for, that whether or not I'm still smoking weed, just let it go. Like, because you're looking for things that don't exist. People will look for your flaws before they look for your good qualities. Like, and
Yeah.
it's sick.
Well, if you're gonna look for him, you're gonna find him.
But we share a mutual friend that told me that she hates that I'm always right.
Yeah.
I hate know things. I'm like, well, shit. At least you know I know.
I feel like, yeah, I get that part too. My sister and I are actually both a lot alike. But it's so funny because it's just like, especially now, I kind of miss when I used to pop off a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not saying I don't pop off now, but it's more so
Look, bring back the balance. It's okay to pop off every now and again if it's warranted.
if it's warranted. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah,
with you. When I want to pop off, it's typically like some repressed shit that like y'all done fucked around too much and not found out, and I want you to find out, but I know that's what you want from me, and I oh man,
you gotta look at you kind of gotta look at the energy level. It's like I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, and I always look at how they read the energy levels to know who they need to fight.
I have to go back and watch that show.
Like they literally will have the little scanner and it'll be like, oh, a power level of 700 is over here. And it's like, you got to do that with life. You got to really look at people's energy and be like, is this really competition? Is this really a challenge? Or is this just somebody who's trying to level up to where I am? If you're trying to get to where I am in life, I have no reason to compete with you.
Yeah.
Whatever level you're at, I'm at. So there's no reason for me to prove myself to someone whose energy level is lower than mine. If they vibrate at a lower frequency, why am I wasting time ducking down to that frequency when I know 9 times out of 10 the karma for that is going to be having to work back up to where I was already.
That's the thing about not getting involved with people like that, because it is a trap. I'm not even going to lie to you. It is a trap. It's like you can't get in the mud with pigs without getting dirty, and that sounds offensive, but whatever. We said I talk rough. I'm working on it. I'm not even going to lie. Like I said, this is not the week.
Work in progress.
But no, it's definitely if I know that we're both going to come to a common agreement and that you're actually, even if it's tense right now, like your intent is good and my intent is good, I'm willing to put my pride or my ego aside to be able to have a conversation. 9 times out of 10, I don't really argue with people. I think people anticipate it from me, but I don't argue. I think that people are more afraid to approach me because they're afraid I'm going to argue, and I'm not going to argue. But that 10%, that 10% is typically because, I don't know, but you can't get involved with people that just want to get involved with drama just for the sake of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like just for the sake of having it, or just for the sake of keeping you around, or just for the sake of provoking a reaction, or whatever the case might be. It's like, I'm not your puppet. So,
and
yeah.
I've gotten where like now, once I realize that someone's looking for an altercation or a disagreement,
Yeah.
let them have it. Like, it's like, you know what? You got it. Cool. Whatever you say. Like, I'm just gonna do what I do. You go do what you do. We go our separate ways. I see how you feel. I understand, and I'm gonna walk away now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's not worth it. And
go ahead, shout out your socials so people can follow you. We gotta get your followers up. We gotta get your.
So, okay, period. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go onto Instagram. Talk slower, Nayanda, so people can understand you. You're gonna go to Instagram. You're gonna go to the search bar and you're gonna type at N as in Nick, Y A N as in Nancy, D as in dog, A S music. It's Nayanda's music.
And I'll be sure to tag you as well once I post everything. So
TikTok as well. This will be same name.
Yeah, TikTok most definitely, like, because that's where I get the most information from you.
I never use TikTok.
That's where I get the most information. Like now, like even your old videos, like I still go back and kind of watch. Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good though.
Because I'm big on reflection, so like I go back and read like your cancer readings and be like, oh, I did go through that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that, and so yeah.
Damn, there's a guy that follows me. He sends me videos. Like he sent me a video yesterday, and he was like in his studio, and he had like my reading playing on his laptop. I was like, whoa, like y'all really be fucking with me? Because every time I do a reading, I'm like, I don't know if I should put this up. Like I don't know, because it's because of how I talk.
It's just like me. I literally am sitting on about 40 songs right now, and I'm literally sitting there, and I'm just like, when should I put this out, and how should I put it out? But I'm realizing now, like with the day and age that we're in now, you just gotta put it out.
Yeah.
Put it out. Like whatever picks up, it'll pick up when it's supposed to. Especially us being spiritual, like we understand that we live on a timeline.
Yeah.
That timeline, when that timeline says, "Hey, we're ready for your platform to be shared now," if there's nothing there,
yeah, there's nothing to go off of. There's nothing to alchemize. But you know what my other thing is too? I'll be scared to post reading straight up because I just feel like I'm too rough. Like I'll be listening to how I'm talking as the reading, and I'll just be like, "You sound like you're cussing somebody out, Nayanda. Like you need to." But I'm like the sweetest person.
We need the authenticity. Though. We don't need cliche readers. Like everybody wants to be the politically correct reader.
Also,
no, we need NT readers.
Also, I found out last night, my guide who I'm channeling, it's just now clicking. Everything is making it. The reason why I talk how I do makes so much more sense now. So I was like, okay, so if you're channeling from a specific energy, and that energy is inherently like warrior type, it's like it's
Not going to be very compromised.
not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we need more of that
I think so.
because I think a lot of people live in this la la land of even though everything is going to be okay, you still have to acknowledge when something isn't right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not okay. It just means that something isn't right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will sweep it under the rug and like everything is fine. Like then go home and be like, why did I sweep that under the rug? Like I should have spoke on it. Speak on whatever you have to speak on when that time is available.
Well, especially because if I'm telling you about something and I'm getting riled up, that means it's serious. And it's like I think a lot of people don't want to scare people, but if something's serious, it's serious. And it's like, I'm not just saying it. If you know me one-on-one, you know how like soft and gentle I am. So if you hear me getting riled up and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That's real. Cause like, you know me, Corey. Like, I really don't be about the rah-rah shit like that. It's like,
lighthearted spirits that I know in this lifetime.
I feel like I'm really lighthearted.
It's like everybody looks at me, they're like, oh, you're so goofy, you make everybody laugh. But bro, if you see me get for real about some shit, like shut the fuck up. Like as high as that laugh can take you, like the balance of the dark side can definitely take you under.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But thank you for this time.
It was like an hour.
I was going to say, it's been 51 minutes. You've got the longest episode so far.
Oh, I talk too much. That's why. My bad.
That's called information. That's called information.
Bing bong.
You don't get hour-long conversations out of everybody. So that's definitely a plus for podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're doing this. Look at us being professional.
Yeah, I'm learning.
I'm fucking it up.
I just recently, I'm going to be on TikTok a lot more because I just joined the agency.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Part of the TikTok live agency now, so I got to start going live on there. But right now I'm figuring out these socials more and more.
Yeah, I feel that.
I prefer to have guests on my TikTok because I have someone to talk to rather than just being on there waiting for people to, I hate waiting on people to start commenting.
It feels thirsty.
Like that. It feels desperate as shit. Like you just, it's like a big ass sign that says, "Hey, someone come talk to me." Like they don't have. So that's why I kind of like find people like, "Hey, when are you available to get on TikTok live?" Then I have a conversation with them, and then it's like, "Hey, it's all good now."
Dude, just hit me up. Like I got you. Like if you want me to, because I don't be getting on live. I hate social media. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like shit posting though. I love the funny stuff. But like as soon as you're like, go on live, I'm like, the fuck for? What are you doing? Niggas need to see what I'm doing for. Like what?
TikTok live like team, like once a week we all just join. Somebody sets up the live. Like if I start the live every week, I have the same people jump in and we all just sit there and have a discussion. Mm-hmm. But I definitely will keep you updated with that.
Yeah, keep you posted. I mean, what else?
Exactly. I mean, we're influencers now. Yeah. Look.
Yay. That's great.
But the thing is, tell everybody, like, with us being spiritual influencers, we still maintain that freedom to do us. This is where we can be, like, if I want to jump on my bed and be fucking goofy, I can get on my fucking Instagram and do that.
That's true. I don't even know what I would do.
It's like, just be you.
You have to give me, like, a topic, because if you put me on live, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to sit there. I had a friend come over a couple weeks ago. She with me, and she was like, oh, I'm going to go on live. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she went on live. I'm like...
Yeah. I got one of y'all lives, and I was just like, Nani is so...
I was like...
Nani has no idea what to do. Like, okay.
I kept telling the happy thumbs. No, for real. Anyway.
Like, for me, I think majority of the time I'll be going live. Like, this summer, I plan on doing a lot more studio sessions. And things like that. That'll be a good time to go live. And it's kind of like you said, I have to have a theme. Because go live like last year. I hated just sitting around and not talking about shit. Yeah. I don't want to talk about my day. I don't. I've already lived it. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't like people just watching me for no reason. I don't feel like because I'm not, this is going to sound bad. And I'm not saying that like everybody that goes on live is attention seeking, but like, and that's a judgment of mine that I'm working on, but it's just kind of like, for me,
Give me a reason.
yeah,
Like,
I need a reason. Just like my TikTok, I'm not using it right now because I'm working on my first music video, which I'm so excited. It's being storyboarded right now. We're gonna meet up again. But, so where I'm saving up money for it and I'm working toward it and all of that. And it's like once all of that is done, edited, complete, then I'm going to be on TikTok more, but it's going to be strictly to promote my shit. So it's like I can't, with everything I have going on, I don't really feel like using social media just for the sake of just being seen. I'll
yeah,
thirst trap sometimes. I don't think I thirst trap. I'm beginning to realize that. I've seen real thirst traps. I don't thirst trap like that. I don't.
thirst trapping and authentic is two different things. I would say, like, based on the things that you do share on your socials, you're just being authentic.
Okay,
But
cool.
thirst trapping is the single mom of four that goes and puts on a bikini in the bathroom and poses and gets on live and just stands there.
Okay. I don't do that.
Like, yeah, you're good. You're good.
But yeah.
But again, on this, we definitely will come back to it. Now that we got a better platform, a lot more things to go through. So, I do want to invite you guys. If you guys aren't busy, 420, I'll be in Arizona for the 420 festival out there. So
I'm down.
yeah, I'll keep you updated with the dates. I'm shooting out to Dallas probably around like the 16th.
Not Texas.
And yeah, we setting up a market out in Texas. So
Not Texas. I want to go to Texas. Do I?
I like Dallas.
Of
Houston's cool. Houston's cool for like partying, but Dallas is like somewhere I can just go chill. Like I don't have to be lit the entire time I'm in Dallas.
You making all these business moves? You gonna have to add me to the team or something at some point.
We can talk about it. I definitely got some spots available. Like definitely,
Give me a second.
we definitely can talk. But I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit this, and once I set up the release, I got you.
Okay, perfect.
I'll let you know.
Yes.
All right.
Nice talking to you guys.
All right. Next time.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Lately I've been trying to find purpose. Half this shit don't even seem worth it. Spend all my time in the clubs watching these bitches twerking, chasing money.